Picture this. You're scrolling through LinkedIn, and someone posts about their incredible journey, optimizing customer engagement metrics through strategic workflow enhancement. You read it twice, and you still have no idea what they actually do. Welcome to 2025, where we've created an entire economy of people who can't explain their jobs to their own mothers. But here's the thing that should terrify you. These aren't just random people on social media. These might be your coworkers. This might be your boss. This might be you. Right now, there are people earning six-figure salaries whose biggest accomplishment this week was perfectly formatting a Google Doc that will never be opened. Why do you work? I mean, really work? Because what I'm about to show you will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about careers, the modern economy, and why millions of people spend their lives in jobs that literally accomplish nothing. This is the hidden psychology behind the greatest economic illusion of our time. Think about your favorite Netflix series. Every character has a clear purpose. The detective solves crimes. The doctor saves lives. The lawyer fights for justice. But walk into any office building in America, and you'll find something completely different. There's someone whose job title is Senior Vice President of Customer Success Optimization. And they spend 8 hours a day in Slack channels discussing the customer success optimization they're supposed to be optimizing. Here's what happened to work in today's world. We automated away the jobs that made sense, then created completely new jobs that make no sense at all. When your grandfather worked, he built things, made things, fixed things. Today, we have entire departments dedicated to stakeholder alignment and synergy facilitation. The service sector exploded from 25% of all jobs to nearly 80% in just one century. But unlike the service jobs of the past, the blacksmith, the baker, the candlestick maker, today's service economy is full of people who can't actually explain what service they provide. David Graeber studied this phenomenon and discovered something shocking. 37% of workers genuinely believe their job contributes nothing meaningful to the world. But here's where it gets weird. These aren't lazy workers or ungrateful employees. These are people trapped in what psychologists now recognize as the most widespread form of economic anxiety in human history. To understand how we got here, let's talk about something that seems completely unrelated: Instagram influencers. Bear with me. An influencer with 100,000 followers can make more money promoting teeth whitening strips than a teacher makes educating children all year. Why? Because our economy doesn't reward value creation. It rewards attention capture. This same psychology infected corporate America decades ago. Companies started hiring people not because they needed the work done, but because having more employees made them look more successful to investors, clients, and competitors. It's like buying followers for your company's LinkedIn page. You're not getting real engagement, but you look bigger, more important, more successful. Just like the Soviet Union hired workers to maintain their image as a worker's paradise, American corporations hire workers to maintain their image as growing, dynamic companies. The difference? Soviet workers knew they were part of propaganda. Corporate workers genuinely believe they're contributing to something meaningful. We've created an entire generation of people who wake up every morning, put on business attire, and spend 8 hours creating the illusion of productivity. You know how in video games, there are NPCs, non-player characters, who exist just to make the world feel populated? Corporate America is full of human NPCs, and David Graeber identified exactly 5 types. Type 1. The Hype Squad. These are people whose entire job is making other people feel important. Think about the executive assistant who schedules meetings for someone who spends all day in meetings about scheduling meetings. Or the chief of staff whose main responsibility is nodding enthusiastically during presentations. Their job isn't productivity. It's psychological validation, like having blue check marks on X, but in human form. Type 2. The Glitch Fixers. Ever wonder why every company has an IT department that takes 3 weeks to reset your password, but Amazon can deliver a package to your door in 3 hours? Glitch Fixers exist to solve problems that could be permanently eliminated, but never are. There's someone whose full-time job is manually entering data between 2 computer systems that could talk to each other, but don't, because fixing it would eliminate the job. It's like having a person whose job is to walk between 2 buildings carrying messages when everyone has smartphones. Type 3. The Aesthetic Workers. These people exist to make companies look professional to other companies. Who do you think creates those corporate Instagram posts with stock photos of diverse people pointing at laptops? Who writes those company blog posts titled 5 Ways We're Revolutionizing Customer Experience? They're like the fake books people put on their Zoom backgrounds. They serve no functional purpose except to create an impression. Type 4. The corporate trolls. Remember when Epic Games sued Apple for monopolistic practices, while Apple also sued Samsung for making phones too similar to iPhones? Corporate trolls are people whose jobs actively make the world worse, but exist because everyone else has them. Patent lawyers who spend their days figuring out how to trademark the color blue. Compliance officers who create rules designed to confuse competitors. Lobbyists who work full-time to make simple things complicated. They're like that person in your friend group who starts drama just to stay relevant. Type 5. The meeting lords. These are the final bosses of meaningless work. Managers whose entire job is managing people who don't need management. Picture this: a remote work team that's been successfully collaborating on Slack for 2 years. Now, add a team collaboration manager whose job is to schedule weekly meetings to discuss how well the team collaborates on Slack. They're like YouTube reaction channels. They add a layer of commentary to content that was already complete without them. Here's the million-dollar question. If these jobs are obviously pointless, why do smart people accept them? Because our brains are hardwired for the Stone Age, not the information age. Think about your smartphone. You check it 150 times a day, not because you need to, but because your brain confuses digital notifications with actual productivity. The same thing happens at work. Your brain can't tell the difference between feeling busy and being productive. Companies exploit this psychological bug. They've discovered that employees who spend 40 hours looking busy are more psychologically satisfied than employees who finish their actual work in 20 hours and go home. It's called presence bias. We judge productivity by time spent working, not results achieved. This is why remote work freaked out so many managers during COVID. When employees started delivering the same results in fewer hours, managers panicked. Because if the work only takes 20 hours, what justifies their salary for the other 20? So we created productivity theater, endless Zoom calls, status update meetings, and collaborative documents that exist purely to create the appearance of work. It's like those mobile games where you tap the screen constantly but never actually progress. Pure psychological manipulation disguised as professional development. Here's something that should blow your mind. A teenager making TikTok videos in their bedroom can build a more efficient business than a Fortune 500 company with 50,000 employees. Why? Because TikTok rewards actual value creation. If your content sucks, nobody watches. If nobody watches, you don't get paid. Simple. But corporate America operates on completely different rules. The more layers of management you create, the more impressive your org chart looks to investors. The more consultants you hire, the more strategic your company appears. The more meetings you have, the more collaborative your culture seems. We've built an economic system where looking productive is more profitable than being productive. And here's the kicker. Automation should be eliminating meaningless work. Instead, we're using technology to create new forms of meaningless work. We automated manufacturing jobs and created digital transformation specialists. We digitized paperwork and created document management coordinators. We streamlined processes and created process improvement analysts to analyze how well we streamline the processes. It's like using AI to generate emails about AI implementation strategies for your AI adoption committee. So, is there a fix? As a society, we could stop glorifying hours and start rewarding results. Most jobs aren't completely pointless, but they've been padded with just enough fluff to feel hollow. What if finishing your real work meant your day was done? No guilt, no busy work. Imagine if companies actually measured impact instead of attendance. If promotions went to people who solved real problems, not people who looked busy in the most meetings. Some places are already experimenting with this. 4-day work weeks. Results-only work environments. Turns out, when you remove the performance theater, people get more done, not less. But here's the catch. This shift requires admitting that most of corporate culture is just expensive cosplay. And that threatens a lot of people whose entire identity is built around looking important. Individually, it's tough. Maybe you build something outside your 9 to 5. Maybe you ride it out, while knowing it's not you, it's the system. Or maybe you become the person who quietly does the real work while everyone else is stuck in meeting loops. There's power in being the one person who actually knows what's happening. Either way, naming the problem is step one. You're not lazy. You're just paying attention. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every pointless email becomes obvious. Every meeting that could have been a text message stands out like a neon sign. Ready to dig deeper into how this all ties back to economics, status, and how money warps our idea of meaning? You're in the right place. Stick around. We're just getting warmed up. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing.